Selamat kabar semuanya. Selamat siang. My name is Vincent and I'm going to talk to you about introduction to analytics. So what is analytics exactly? And why analytics? So this is the structures of the point that I want to give it to you today. So first of all, we are going to talk about what exactly is analytics. We are going to talk about definitions, what constitutes of analytics, and we are going to talk about some of the professions and the terms in analytics. So something for you to consider on when you are learning analytics. And we are going to talk about why analytics, profession and impact, and some of the learning and challenges which is a part of why people wants to go for analytics. And of course, arguably most important thing is salary rate. So money. Okay? And afterwards, we are going to talk about how. How could you achieve those? What are the kind of knowledge that you need to learn? And what kind of insights that you can get from this channel and this course. So that's I'm going to put at the how by the end of this presentation. So note for you, if you find that you want to skip a certain part, you know what the definition of analysis is from inside and out, like the back of your hand. So feel free to just jump through. It's the benefit of using YouTube. You can just jump the video all the way. So feel free to do that. No one's going to be mad at you. So it's fine. Alright, so what is analytics? So analytics is, there are so many different kinds of terms that you can find online. And the systematic computational analysis of data statistics according to Forbes, information resulting from the systematic analysis of data and statistics. So all these are very tough to say. But actually, if you were to come up to a justifications, it's everything is summarized is inside that link, which is the history of data science. You can take a look why analytics and what analytics is about, how it come about. Okay, but for your convenience, I have created my own term, and I hope that this will help you to learn more and to remember what analytics is about. So analytics is the art of seeing and solving business problems through the eyes of data processed by technology. So very simple. There are only three words, the key terms that you want to say if you are explaining to your friends about what analytics is about. So first is the business problems, the goal. The purpose of the analytics is for you to see and solve business problems in a way that is different and new. And of course, through the eyes of data, which is the raw materials for you to see and view the business problems. And finally, the tool is the technology, the computer. Okay? So one analogy that I can come about in order to explain to you what analytics is about is like playing a piano. First of all, what is the goal of playing piano? The goal of playing piano is to generate good music that when you listen, you will feel calm and relaxed. It's a good music. Or something that emerge you as not loud or very nice emotional kind of tune that brings you on this journey. Those are the goal of generating music. And of course, you have the tool, which is the piano itself. And finally, you have the musical notes, in which they use the musical notes to generate the music. So those are the inputs. Right? And similarly with data analytics, the musical notes of piano is the data, the raw input, and you need to learn how to process the data through the use of the technology, the computer, or in music, the piano. And finally, the goal is for you to solve business problems. And similar to music, for you to generate music through the use of musical notes and piano. So same thing, business problems through the eyes of data processed by technology. Alright? So that is one of the analogy that I come about. And hope you can learn from it. And Afterwards, we can talk about the terms and professions. So the three big terms are, first of all, data science, second, data analytics, and data engineer. But what are the differences in between? So data science is the very first input of like the processing of the data. It's like a chef that have the inputs of ingredients. So they process data in a sense that it generates a certain insights or the charts, for example. And afterwards, you have the data analytics, or in other words, you can call it business analytics. It's the same. So what business analytics do is to apply an algorithmic or mechanical process to derive insights. So what they do is to add on the business aspects to data and to come up with knowledge and decision making, some insightful advice to your boss. And finally, we have data engineer. So data engineer is the infrastructures and architecture that contains and pipeline all of this data. So for example, you have millions of data, billions of data, trillions of data that couldn't be processed by Excel sheets. You need to rely on data engineer to create the process of the data structures and the pipelining so that the data could flow nicely and can be used by the data scientists and data analytics. So this is a simple chart for you to learn. So data engineer is really on the computer science, the technical guy, and data scientist is the statistical guys, the one that come up with the data comes about and then they try to come up with the charts and graphics. And finally, business analyst is the one that links the graphics and the charts into something that are insightful for the business to mine. So that's what's the analytics, and now we talk about why analytics. So I think you've seen this before because you put an interest in this course. But data scientists, according to the HBR, there's this one article that says the sexiest job of the 21st century, and it was created in 2012. So what it says is that data scientists have been the secret recipes for many different companies to work better, to produce better quality products. For example, LinkedIn. The network that you can see on LinkedIn is amazing how it can connect you to billions of people that have the same interest as you. Even in Kaplan, it can be used to analyze the students' geographics, demographics, and how they come about to Kaplan. And Zynga, of course, in order to process more games and more visualizations for certain pets or many different kinds of initiatives. And Netflix for the algorithm that is used to recommend new videos. And of course, we talk about the learning and the challenges. So for analytics, it talks about mathematics expertise, the statistics, the probability, and the skills for you to improve and cook on the data. And you talk about the technology, the hacking skills, the computer, how you program in order to process the data. And finally, you talk about the business strategies. And in fact, this is the very big view of what the learning and challenges you see in analytics. Analytics is unique because you are able to put in three so-called different expertise in order to make one offering from your skill. So, which is data science. And if you want more complicated roadmap, it looks like this. So you can see that there are a lot of like different charts and different skills that you can learn in your journey for data analytics. And of course, arguably maybe this is important for you, but the salary rate of analytics is very large. Analytics professional and data scientists will have exponentially large wage according to the skills and the offerings that you bring into the industry. So you can see more at the link there. And finally, for how you can become an analyst, if I manage to convince and persuade you to, you come here for the thought of becoming analytics, so it's fine. But if you are more convinced, then it's good. And how you can become analytics is by going through these different sectors. So these are the kind of playlists that I'm going to put in the channel, and you can go through one by one until at the end you can learn about machine learning and maybe about big data after that. So I'm going to start with a bit of introduction to analytics, where we are going to talk about some different tools, basic statistics, and some maybe mock-up project for you to try on and get your hands dirty. I'm going to talk about the programming side, so Python and R, which is one of the most used in analytics, or maybe MATLAB, we'll see. And data visualization, I'm going to talk about Matplotlib, which is the Python library, and visual analytics to like Tableau and QuickView for you to impress your boss by having a more interactive diagrams and charts. I'm going to show you the power in this playlist. And afterwards, we talk about machine learning, how you can start inferencing from the data that you have. Maybe you can predict stocks price, for example. Maybe you can predict customer demands and supplies in the market to determine the optimum price, which is more efficient than you can see your competitors or the markup price. So that's the kind of thing that you can do. And all of these will have, most of these will have the side projects. So hopefully you can get your hands dirty. But occasionally I will also put the side project. So the side project is something that I work on maybe from school and for competition. So I will put a certain playlist for that, and you can just learn or maybe like listen to it and give feedbacks to me on how I could improve it. So with that, I would like to thank you. And oh, I forgot to mention that I will have an analytics channel repository. So this is where the PowerPoint slides, you can get the PowerPoint slides from here. You can get the data and maybe some useful links from here. And I hope it could lubricate or facilitate our journey together. With that, I would like to say Terimakasih or thank you, and see you at the next lesson, which is Analytics Toolbox tutorial. Bye bye.